All right, welcome to Breaking Bread with Dread, number 14. This is DREADPOOL, and I am here again, graced by the glory of Italian Clownz. And this is a place we're at right now. It's called the Wooden Spoon Diner, and this is one of the places suggested to me by Italian Clownz. So, figured, eventually we'll get here, and today's the day. So, welcome everybody, and welcome Clownz.
Yeah, thanks. This is the first time we're actually trying the lunch menu too. Usually it's breakfast. So
Yeah, it's one of those weird combination. Or it's barbecue. That's the only time. Oh, I'm sorry. You mean here? You usually get breakfast here.
yeah,
I thought you meant with us. I'm like, wait a second. We get
usually we
barbecue.
get barbecue.
Yeah, usually it's barbecue. So I see we are live. My phone is definitely indicating that we are live, and I'm gonna share it out real fast. Let's see. Copy.
Graphic God,
Yeah.
come on in.
Yeah, come on in, Graphic God. As everybody says, Jay. All right. Give me a second. This isn't easy. Trying to do the live with the setup we have and the table space we have, and trying to, eat and kind of go from there. Speaking of, while I'm doing this, let's see. What did you get today?
For the first time ever, I'm trying the corned beef.
Oh, that's the corned beef?
Yep.
All right. You threw me off. It's a good thing you said what you got. Because I was thinking you were getting the Reuben. We had discussed back and forth, stuff like that. So it's a good thing I didn't open my mouth and say what you didn't get.
Oh, that's all right. I think this is the corned beef. I don't remember now.
So I got, what was this? This was the
Pork tenderloin.
Yeah, the pork tenderloin. And it is huge. I took pictures of both of our plates. Nice and crispy. It came with tomato and lettuce, and I think some mayo or something on here. But it's huge. I didn't expect it to be this big. And side of fries. They also give you coleslaw and a pickle spear. And so let's see. I'm still trying to do those while I'm doing all this here.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, I'm gonna tweak that out. So okay. As you're about to take a bite, I'll just keep on talking, or
Yeah, I mean, no, whatever you want to discuss, I can tell you on a scale of 1 to 10 in a minute.
okay.
This is graded as.
Well, go ahead, take a bite, and we'll see how. He's not disgusted. He looks like he's enjoying the sandwich. He's still thinking through whether or not he likes it, or if he's going to go back to breakfast. So
Maybe about 7.
a 7. All right. See, there you go. So a 7 is a good score. I'm just going to say it's great. Let me take a bite in here real fast. And it's great. I'm not going to give it a score. It's definitely something worth a try. As always, when they places when they cook food, you never know what you're going to get because each cook is a little different, stuff like that. But 9 times out of 10, it's the same consistency. So yeah, definitely. So far as I can say, from the first bite, this was good.
Yeah, and this is like a real diner kind of breakfast place. It's not like a chain. It's like a
Mom and pop shop.
Yeah.
And they're expanding too. They got 3 other locations, one in Plant City and one over in Brandon, which I didn't know that they were there. I just found out about the Plant City one. And I think when we first talked, they only had the one. So they've expanded pretty good.
Hashtag Game Pass.
Yeah, hashtag Game Pass. Speaking of Game Pass, it looks like they've saved you a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
So did you switch to Geico?
You know what? I saved so much money with Game Pass, I was able to go even higher than that.
Oh, nice. So let's talk about one of the main things, 4G QTV. You guys are hitting some impressive numbers on Facebook and a couple other spots. I know YouTube's been building up again and still growing, but Facebook seems to be the spike.
It's unbelievable. With Facebook, they count every watch, right? So the numbers that we get on Facebook is almost like full watches all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
And we begin like 25K, 30K, 50K. I think the highest one we got is like 78K. For some reason, if we try to embed the YouTube link, and we even tested this, like we paid for ads, right? So even paying for ads on Facebook with the YouTube link, you'll get like 15, 20,000 clicks to the YouTube page. The problem is Facebook has something called the Facebook Click ID now, which is FPCID, where they add a whole bunch of numbers after your link. So when it goes to YouTube, YouTube knows it's coming from Facebook, and it looks like the same link click over and over and over, and YouTube doesn't count all those links anymore. They started blocking Facebook counts. So there's some people that have theories on YouTube with ways around it. We've been researching it because it's really petty. It's like YouTube versus Facebook. It's almost like an internal fight of like, hey, don't count this link because it's from our competitor kind of thing. So people are trying to find ways around it by like redirection. And even when you do a redirect URL, Facebook will add their link ID. And then the redirect URL won't work because it'll be like bit.ly / example, bit.ly /CAL. And then all of a sudden, FBCID, and then 25,000 numbers and letters and hashtags after that. So the redirects fail. Now, I found a way, but we don't know if it's going to work.
I have an idea, but let's hear what your way is, because it might be what I'm kind of doing now.
I found a way using slashes after the link and wildcards. So they still add the Facebook stuff, but it's after the slashes, and then I'll do a redirect from like a personal domain, like a 302, like a temporary move or a permanent move. And so far, those are trickling in, but they're not the numbers they should be. Like I'm getting maybe 5 or 6 clicks through that count, but the rest are not counting after so many.
Okay, so it's like once they reach a limit, they stop counting at that point in time. After, let's just say 5. So first 5, and then that's it. So it seems like they're still finding ways to get around the I guess the workarounds, and they're still finding their workaround for that workaround, which is ridiculous. And then, but Marvel's been doing pretty good with you guys with those interviews. You guys are banging them out, so that's awesome. You know, regardless of the infighting between the two companies, which I mean, they should be happy that you have creators that are doing this, that are getting them these views, and that they're penalizing you for it.
Yeah, it's a shame. I don't know why they're penalizing us, but huge shout out to the Marvel Cinematic Facebook group on Facebook. It's the official Marvel group. There's another one by a company called Green Orbit, I believe, but that's not the one that we associate with. We associate with the official Marvel Studios one, and it's got about 546,000 subscribers. One of the administrators of the group, Paris, you'll see him on the panels as well. who we just interviewed, Anthony Francisco, which for everybody listening, I don't know if you had the chance to catch up on it, but he actually shows keyframe art that's never been seen before, approved by Disney.
That's cool, man. We I also noticed you opened up another one, the DC Multiverse.
Mm-hmm. So after seeing my friend work on the Marvel one, I decided, why not grab the DC one and give it a shot and see what happens.
Yeah.
That way we'll have creators coming from both. And we're really interested in getting on some actors in the future. And I really admire Stargirl, the DC show. I think it was done really well. Has Breck Bassinger, Luke Wilson, and it's just a really good show. And actually, so this is going to be announced here. This is the second place that we ever announced this, but we said it on Twitter before. We're starting something called the MCU After Show.
Okay.
Paris, PK, and I.
Okay.
And then on PK's channel, we're going to start a DC show. Because PK is a huge DC fan.
Yeah, yes, he is.
And I'm a huge Marvel fan. So we're looking forward to having a lot of fun talking about the shows, the movies, the crossovers, our favorite superheroes and supervillains. And that's something that you get out of our interviews that you might not get out of other interviews, is we ask the Marvel people, who's your favorite supervillain? Everybody has a favorite superhero. But why not ask, who's your favorite supervillain?
That's awesome. That's the funny thing. What was it? It's been about a year, right? It's been about a year since the rebirth of 4GT. Four Guys with Quarters. I was trying to do the acronym.
So how did it turn out?
So it's
Very
good. It's awesome. Excellent. Thank you. And what a turnaround it is. You guys have been changing things up, adding more people. The interviews have been blowing up. Obviously now more Facebook, more content. So yeah, you guys are getting busy there, and obviously the talent is growing. And I'm sure pretty soon you guys are going to get stalked with, "Hey, I want to be on this."
We have already.
You have. Nice. That. Can you tell me, or is it still undercover, cognito, NDA stuff?
I'll say it this way without saying any names. One of the guys that we closely work with, his good friend, he reached out to someone, and that person said, "Oh, hey, you have a lot of my friends already on your show, 4GQ TV, and I want to come on too." And he's done some Gears work.
Oh, nice. So I'm going to assume that's one of those you kind of can't say no to.
Mm-hmm.
Make the time. Make it happen.
And we do have some big interviews coming up that I'll tell you here. We got Jeff Isherwood, who's a well-known artist. And I can't remember her name. I think it's Nubian Queen. She was a voice in Redfall. Level 1 Gaming did an interview with her, so we reached out to her as well. And then I believe we have 2 more lined up after that. And I'm also getting, I met Ming Chen from Kevin Smith's Comic Book Men.
I saw that. That was awesome.
He's going to come on and...
Is it in your silverware, my dear?
The Yellow Ranger from Power Rangers is also agreed to come on.
Nice. Now, we also got, being that it's summertime, we have a whole bunch of Comic Cons popping up left and right. You working on anything there? Anything special that you can talk about yet? Or is it still in the works or hush hush?
Trying to get into Free Play Florida with you.
Okay.
And what that is it's a gamer's dream paradise, basically, at the Orlando Convention Center.
Is that the old Destiny one, or is that a different name?
No, I
That's a
believe
different-
that's GCX now,
Okay.
which I did ask them too, but I don't know if I'll qualify with them. But
Okay.
the one in Free Play Florida is where pinball collectors and arcade collectors take their personal collections and bring them to the show. And the machines are in mint condition, a lot of them, and you're allowed to play them for free. So you walk around, you have to play all these different modern pinball games too, like Stern Pinball with the Ghostbusters and stuff is usually there, all the way back to old machines like Pac-Man. And then when you walk around the convention, you meet some of the artists that done cabinet art from Midway. You meet the ones that have done some for Namco. They're there. They sign autographs and do pictures for you. So it's a really cool event. And if you have nostalgia where you want to introduce young ones to gaming, it's a really positive, family-friendly environment.
Oh, that's really cool, man. Excuse me. I just took a bite, so trying to. Excuse me, trying to work it down. So we went to an outlet mall, and inside the outlet mall, they had one of those what is it called? I forgot what it's called, but it's like pool tables, darts. They even have a whole bunch of pinball machines. They have those all-in-one arcade cabinet, 200 something games, yada yada yada. So I took my daughter in there, and I was like, I told my wife, I said, I want to go in here and look, because I thought it was an actual arcade. I didn't realize it was one of those things that they sell all this stuff. So we're walking through, and my daughter's looking. I'm like, yeah, this pool table's pretty cool, huh? She's like, yeah, it's really nice. She's like, I like this part of the wood. It's cool. She's like, what is this? And I'm like, it's pool. It's where you put the balls on top. Trying to explain to it, to an 8-year-old that's never really paid attention to this stuff. And I'm like, this also turns into a dining room table. And her eyes like light up, like, what? I'm like, yeah, that wood goes on there, and it's a cover for the pool table. So when you're not playing games, you can sit down and eat on top of it with your food. So she found that really cool and interesting. So, going around, looking all the lights, the neon signs, some of the other, the old tin signs that they had, some of the cool stuff. She pointed out the jukebox. Mm-hmm. She's like, what's that? That's cool. She liked all the lights and stuff. It was her size, basically. She was probably about a foot taller than it. So it was, one of the shorter ones, but it was really cool. CDs are in there, and I'm trying to explain to her this whole thing, this whole concept. And it's like, yet again, this is where video games were. We grew up with 8-bit and previous with, you're looking at blocks and you're like, that's a dude. This is the superhero that you're playing, and you're trying to go over here and do this feat or whatever, or you're trying to play baseball with these little stick figure things. And, they don't understand what we went through, and then showing her something like that, bringing it back to the past of music. So it's not just games, it's music too, that not everybody realizes how we grew from where we were to where we're at now. And it's cool to see that it's not just games, it's everything. We talk about cell phones, and you look at the old phone that's plugged in, and the rotary dial, and kids are like trying to push the button versus literally putting your finger in and then spinning the dial. So it's fun to see the little ones at that age learning this stuff, because at 13, 14 they know it all. And you can't be bothered with it because it's so boring. but to see her eyes light up and like, what? You guys used to be able to do this because you just touch your phone and there's music. Touch your phone and there's a game, And here we are putting in cartridges, putting in CDs, putting in the vinyls, the old school days, those 45s, stuff like that. You're trying to explain that to her and show her with something physical that she can actually see and understand. Good to go?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and then going from there, and then going to the pinball machines and explaining to her that these were games that people used to play way back when, before they had video games. That, nowadays we have all these lights and sensors and the screen. Before it was just, the bells and maybe a couple lights or something, behind a poster, and how intricate it's gotten. So we found a Deadpool one, and it had a button up top on the center. And I was like, push the button, because she wanted to push all the buttons. And I was like, don't push nothing. Don't touch nothing. Don't do this. Don't do that. So I was like, all right, go ahead, push the button. She's like, no. So I pushed the button. She's like, you did it. The machine starts going off. It rolls out a whole bunch of balls for you to play. And it was really cool to, but I was like, I didn't touch it. She's like, yeah, you did. I said, no, you touched it. So I'm blaming her for touching the button that I touched. And it was funny because we ended up walking out the store. I thanked the guy for letting us, walk around and look around and, not really doing anything. We weren't buying, but, I'm wasting his time because now he's got to watch us to make sure we don't damage anything or, you don't know some people, so you got to keep an eye out. But yeah, thanked them. We walked outside. Mommy, Daddy touched the button. He was messing with the machine. The machine started going crazy and all wacko. And I was like, yeah, it was just starting the game. It was feeding the balls. My wife's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, there's a pinball machine. She's like, oh, okay. She's like, all right, whatever. And just like kept on walking. But yeah, stuff like that's really cool. But I did show you and Tempest Son a picture of a place over in Tarpon Springs. Forgot what it's called right now. It's like retro something. So they what was it, retro art museum or something like that. So
Yeah, I think I heard of them. It's like you pay to get in and play all day.
Yeah, you play all day. And they got two walls on either side as you go into the building, full of pinballs. Then in the back, and this is from pictures that I could tell. I haven't been inside myself, but when they're looking at the pictures, they have old arcade cabinets in the back. So that's like a mini version of the convention you're talking about. So it's funny how all this stuff comes into circle and correlates in the end. Like, didn't know that you were doing that until we talked. I had no idea that that's what it was about. And here I am sending you guys an address and some pictures going, hey, we should all, the three of us meet up here and do something like that. And I know we're still talking about Dave and Buster's.
Yeah.
So it's one of those, trying to figure out the timing and going from there. And it's not easy when you got three different families trying to meet up for the first time and hang out, and in the COVID world that we're living in. So it was one of those things where, like, we'll just postpone it for now until things settle down and we can actually go back out there and not worry about any of our families getting sick.
Speaking of which, that's one of the things that kind of holds you back from traveling, because you had plans to travel all over the United States to do this.
Yeah. Well, with my job restricting me from flying, and then I had spoke to somebody, and they're like, what are you talking about? I was like, oh, did they lift it? So I still haven't gotten an official word that they lifted it, but as far as I know, I believe it's been lifted. So hopefully I'll get to fly again. And obviously, right now, I can only fly in the U.S., so it's going to be local stuff. I might make it into Canada, but it'll be like basically fly into U.S., cross the border.
We got to get Jay in the air.
Yeah, we get Jay here. I mean, you got Noof, Cloud. I mean, I want to hang out with those guys too in person, not just online like we do. And as much fun as we have laughing at each other online, it's got to be hysterical just, running into these guys in person and just making fun of each other, having a good time, just hanging out, bullshitting.
Yeah. Even in the summertime when we go up to Canada, we need like hoodies and long sleeves because it's like the Arctic.
See, that's a fun thing. I know the one time we actually went skiing up in Seattle, or not Seattle, but up north of Seattle. What was it, Mount Baker, I want to say we went to. And I didn't go skiing, I went snowboarding. And while I was up there, I also went across to, where did we go? We went to White Rock, and they had a car show there, and it was beautiful, man. You should have seen all these old cars just lined up in this little pristine town, and you're like, White Rock, like, what kind of name is that? And you look around, yeah, it's very nice, beautiful town. It's coastal, touristy type, nothing much there. But when you had a car show like that and they got some of those old classics out there, oh man, beautiful. And then we went to Vancouver Museum. I've been to some sort of bridge. That's all I know. There's like a suspension bridge. You go across, and then in the trees, they have these tree houses that span from one to the other. And all I could think of is Ewok Village. So it's like you're like in Star Wars up there. And
those Canadians.
Yeah. Those guys in Canada. But yeah, man, we had a blast. We went to Gastown, and I've been up there a couple times to what is it, Vancouver. So it was really cool. I want to travel a couple other places. I got it. So, but like I said, it's different places up there, and that's what I love about traveling is you get to see all this new exciting things that everybody else is like, yeah, whatever. What do we have here in Florida? We all live here, and we're like, yeah, it's the beach, whatever.
Palm trees. We've seen it 1,000 times.
We've seen 1,000 with just blinking my eyeball, and it's like, oh, okay. In the meantime, everybody else is, you're like, yeah, I'm in Florida, I'm partying, look at the beach, look at this. It's one of those things. So that's why I like the whole traveling thing, because when you do come back, you feel refreshed. You're happy to be here. You could care less about the beach or anything else, but you're just happy to be back. In the meantime, you have all these stories to tell. Have you been anywhere like that, traveling wise? Like,
we've been to, I've been to a lot of places. I've been to Canada. I've been to Quebec. Been to Montreal. We got in trouble in Montreal. I was 12 years old and I was throwing water balloons off the balcony. There were 25-cent water balloons that you found in the men's bathroom, and I was throwing them off the balcony. We don't need to elaborate. Just
okay.
And
we're on the same page then.
Got in a lot of trouble. Got sent back to our room. I visited Sweden.
Oh, nice.
I'll tell you this. In the town that I visited in Sweden, it was Hudiksville. And at the time...
It was what?
Hudiksville. That's the name of the village, Hudiksville.
We have that here in Clearwater, right? Hootersville.
No, not Hootersville.
No, it's
Hudiksville.
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 Sounds like a place I want to visit.
Well, as an American, being the only American young boy there were plenty of Swedish girls my age, and they were very curious about Americans, so I was really popular. Um, the Swedish boys picked on me when we played football because it wasn't when I thought they said football, I thought they meant like
American football.
the NFL kind. No, they brought out a soccer ball. I'm like I don't know how to play this. So I got picked on a little bit, but I mean it was all fun. Biggest thing I learned in Sweden is that Mega Man is called Rockman in Europe because I run at the Nintendo Entertainment System. I had this little shop, and I said, "Where's Mega Man?" And the guy didn't speak English, so my cousin translated, and he was like, "Oh, you mean Rockman?" So I look at this Rockman, looks just like Mega Man, and I said, "This is a fraudulent, bogus copy of Mega Man." You know, I said, "This is a fake." And the guy at the shop got mad at me. He just said, rent it, you know. So I rented it. And then I kind of got the drift of like, oh, this really is Mega Man. Maybe they just have different titles, you know. So I thought that was interesting for my trip. Other than that, the other stuff I wouldn't remember because I was probably too young in Italy.
At least you got the OC family there that you don't remember.
Yeah, and I was told I was kissed on both cheeks by every girl in the village in Italy. So I was 3 years old.
Did you get drunk?
No.
It's a shame.
No.
Not promoting anything like that, but those in Europe understand.
Yeah, because at 5 years old, it's okay to drink wine at the table. That actually comes from World War II when they didn't have enough milk and stuff to go around. That culturally it was acceptable to drink a glass of wine with dinner instead of having water all day.
Well, it had nutrients. It has other things than just water. I mean, water is good for you regardless.
Yeah,
But, I mean,
it wasn't like they drank it excessively at 5 years old either.
well, they also at the table, in front of them, not behind their back, partying with their other buddies and overdoing it. You know what I mean? So that's how I grew up. A half a glass when I was younger, it was a half a glass of wine, a half a glass of water, and that's, you know. But that's the culture. It's for us. It was it's a human right.
Yep.
So there is no age limit, you know, and that's the funny thing, you know. Yet again, my dad, even here, was like, I'd rather have him drinking in front of me than behind my back because I don't know what he's getting into. But at least here I can monitor, you know, and I rarely drink because of that, because I know what it's like. It's not a big deal. It's not well, you can't have it, so we're going to sneak it. I didn't have to sneak it, you know, so that's kind of that mentality of when it's introduced the right way, you know. And I understand people are like, well, you can't do that, but there's, you know what I'm saying? So when you have that mentality of like Europe has, it's introduced the right way, it's supervised, it's not taboo. When things are taboo, that's what makes it even more interesting.
Yeah,
That's what makes it, you know what I mean? It's that apple that everybody wants because you can't have it. So, but that,
yeah, I never drank either, and that was because my family was so in America. They're so open about it that even at like 5, 6 years old, they would have Sambuca bottles or amaretto bottles lying around, and I had no interest in it.
Yeah.
Like I didn't.
because you weren't banned from it.
Yeah.
So the curiosity wasn't there. There was no need for it because it's right there, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really no big deal. And in Italy, I had a lot of goat's milk as a kid, apparently. So that must have been interesting. Powdered goat's milk.
Yep. Yeah, they used to have to import. They'd buy these special cow milk from Holland and import that, and that's what we would buy for us because goat's milk was like the main thing. We drank it, but when it came from the supermarket, it wasn't the same. I don't know what it was, but all right, whatever. My grandfather used to have a farm. He'd have goats and herds of, so they'd milk them. We'd milk them, and that's you strain it and make your cheese. You make all save some for milk.
Yeah.
But that was it. So yet again, different culture. I was 5 years old. Here's money. Go down to the local little grocery store, which is a mom and pop shop outside of their house. They just turned one, like old school. They turned one room in the front into the business, and they would have the milk, eggs, and all that basic stuff, and beer. So here I am, 5 years old, handing money over. I want this, this, and this, and then hand me the whatever. Because obviously back in the 70s, the common theme was beer and cigarettes. No problems. I'd buy the beer and cigarettes and whatever else, what other candy that I wanted. That was my reward for going down there to get that stuff, was I'd get a candy bar or two. So get the candy bar. I got what I wanted, and then I would carry all that stuff back up the hill back to the house. So, but yeah, it's like I said, different worlds, different time.
Yeah.
Now you can't look at somebody with a cigarette and they're like, oh, we know it's bad, but people back then knew it was bad too. They still did it. Thank you.
Do you need some more diet, sir?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Oh, almost had a crash landing there. She almost knocked over one of their props. And so what else? What else is going on? There's not really much other than what was it? The Game Pass. # Game Pass.
Yeah, that was big.
Dude, that was huge, man. I was actually shocked. I couldn't believe. I don't know how it started. I just got hit on it. Hey, at 10 o'clock, do this. I was like, all right, whatever. I'm busy working. I just woke up, went to work. So I missed a whole bunch of that stuff. I wasn't paying attention to Twitter. And next thing I know, it blew up, or at least it actually blew up before I even realized. But by the time I realized, I was like, oh, wow, this is actually bigger than I thought. And it was kind of funny. It reminded me of the GameStop stocks and everybody like buying into them and all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because of corporate and other people, then they just turn it into a big thing. That's what it kind of reminded me of. It was just like grassroots. Everybody's jumping on. Everybody's backing it. Everybody, putting their twist on it. So it was kind of cool to see, and at the same time be a part of. However, when it said send it out at 10 o'clock, I saw it at 10:20. I was already late. I was like, yeah, I'll send it out. Oops. So
Trying to let Graphic Guy get in here to ask us some live questions. I know he was like, oh, doing Breaking Bread with Dread.
well, I had 2 listeners. I had a second listener. I'm one of them, so I know we're talking to myself right now. But Jay, where you at, man? And it is one of those things. I wasn't expecting a lot of people. It wasn't announced. It wasn't anything.
Yeah,
it was just
like
last minute. Here you go, boom. And I'm sure there's other guys have shows right now. So, not a big deal. But I was hoping Jay would come in, get some questions out there. And if anybody just does jump on, let us know. Otherwise, this is all for naught because no one's going to be able to ask any questions on the replay.
Yes, we're trying to get questions in.
I mean, you can't ask questions on the replay. It's just it'll be in the comments.
Oh, there we go, Graphic Guy.
Oh, there he is.
And back from the day. Hey, what's up, guys?
Good to see you both.
Graphic Guy, how's the Arctic cold? Are you making ice cubes out of the pool yet?
He might be fishing in there, putting a tent on the pool, digging out that hole, and going ice fishing, whatever that's called.
Hey, what's up, animated?
Oh, nice, Animated Evil. What's
I
going
could,
on, brother?
I could picture graphic guy like ice fishing.
Yeah.
He would say he's going ice fishing, but he'd probably bring like a couple packs of beer and just sit in a chair with an umbrella and not even fish. And play retro games.
I was thinking he'd be bringing like the Game Boy or something, or just like one of those little mini portable monitors, all in one, and you just put the Nintendo on top of it. Here you go. And we just call it fishing. See, this is cool. I've never really seen this side of StreamYard to be able to do this stuff. I'm always a guest. So, you guys got any questions other than
we could tell you
Jay's
what we
fishing?
ate. Yeah, we could tell you what we ate. I rated mine.
I had to slow him down so I can actually take pictures.
Yeah, he did. He's like, wait, I gotta take a picture. Because I always jump in. I always forget picture time. I always forget
the last time you scarfed it down as I'm setting up, and there's like no pizza. I was like, "We're what?" He's like, "I'm already done."
I can't remember. It was the Reuben or the corned beef. It was one of the two. I forgot. We already forgot what I had.
What was this again? This was the
pork
tenderloin.
Yeah.
I was thinking it was like more like pulled pork. Like I said, I was picturing something different, and then when this came out, I was like, "Is that a huge fish?" But it's nice and fried. It's thin, cooked well, and it's soft too. It's not overcooked. And because I'm talking, it's hard to finish eating my food.
You're eating goulash? Oh,
goulash.
No.
Oh man,
that is. You know what? My wife loves goulash. I do not.
Well, that's one way to stay warm.
It is, yes.
Especially when you're fishing.
Yeah, bring some. What about chili? I mean, where's the chili? Graphic guy? Animator, how's the fish and chips today over there in the UK?
You know, I almost have to have a beef with Back from the Dead. Didn't tell me my microphone wasn't working. I'm sitting there talking to them and, talking through the gameplay, and I'm playing with Fork, and, I see, everybody jumping on. It was back, the blue one and Boogeyman. So, and I'm still typing in the chat, hey, so that way they knew, but I had no idea that they weren't hearing me. All I knew is the stream was on, it was working. And for 6 hours, I'm talking to them, thinking that they're still there, and didn't realize that they didn't even hear me. And at some point in time, they gave up on me.
The temperature in Canada, where you're at right now, I'm going to say it in Fahrenheit, graphic god, so you're going to have to translate. I'm going to say 83 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah, I have no idea. All I know is it's cold. Oh, my bad. I was probably I was trying to figure out what happened. I was probably setting up something. My bad, back. That's why I said I should be, but I'm not, because I know, it was a test stream. It was basically trying to figure it out, but I had no idea, that the vocals weren't there. I'm sitting there, like I said, I was sitting there talking and all that, and Fork was worried about, being a dad. You don't know what you're saying sometimes because you get into your kids. And I was like, dude, I didn't hear anything bad. And he went back to listen to it. He's laughing. He's like, oh, you don't have to worry about it because nothing came through. I'm sure fish and chips are good. Been a while.
Oh, wow.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Well, don't worry. Jay does ice fishing. He can get you some good fish and chips.
It'll be fresh.
Yeah, he puts some ice in the box when he sends it over too. It'll stay frozen.
That's not that bad, Jay. 79.
No, yeah, it's not until it's in Florida. Sometimes at 70 or below, people put like jackets on.
Some people put jackets on at 75.
Yeah. You don't want to keep a jacket with you in case it gets cold later, Jay. Did you know that in Canada, not every house has central air?
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
I learned that today with Jay in the party.
All you do is open a window and cool the house down. Some of them. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to go first with Jay. Some of them actually have like a fan in the house, the central fan. So you turn it on and it sucks all the air into the attic. So that way you open your windows and it brings in the air from your front door and your windows, anything that you have screened. So that way you can kind of do that. And they used to have that down here too. I thought I tested the mic. So I thought I heard stuff, but apparently it didn't go through. Oh, thanks, Stream Elements. I decided I was going to try Stream Elements, and somehow they're linked up with my YouTube.
Yeah, they're pretty good. I like Stream Elements.
So, yeah, I was messing around with some shirts. I hadn't uploaded any of the artwork that Graphic God did for me, but I have it on Teespring. So that and the two new ones that I'm waiting on, and I know they're a little tricky, so I gotta wait my turn.
I think cod is the best for fish and chips. I mean, that's my opinion. That's like an American thing. I don't know in the UK if it's really cod or not.
That's what I've been known to. Cod is fried cod.
Who needs the heater in the winter? We just use blankets in Florida.
Yeah. Use blankets and a warm body. Yeah, that's true. Cod is good. You want a firm fish. I mean, it's not like you want, fall off the bone ribs or anything like that, especially when it comes to fish. You want to be able to just... Yeah, that's the other one I heard is haddock.
Yeah.
And I think I've had haddock when I went up to White Rock.
Yeah, haddock's another one.
So, all right. Well, if you guys have any more questions before we're getting ready to wrap up here. Yeah, when it's negative 30, you need heat.
Is that negative 30 Celsius or negative 30 Fahrenheit?
I'm going to say either one. It's pretty cold. I don't know if you can hear me biting.
In Sweden in the winter, it went to like, when I was there, it was like negative 5 Fahrenheit.
Yeah, but you don't realize 50 degrees in Florida when you're used to that feels like negative 50 compared to the rest of the world. Mind you, I don't complain. I like the cold. I don't mind the heat. It's just the humidity that kills me. But I don't mind the cold. I used to wear shorts until OSHA said otherwise. I'd wear shorts for every job that I worked on.
Can't blame you.
But OSHA rules. So I had to wear pants and get used to it. But the rest of the time, shorts all the way. She returned this, right?
Yep.
Yeah, she did. Just sitting there.
They'll do a drink to go if you want a drink to go.
I'm good. I got plenty of water with me. I always have to have water.
Yeah, you know, Back from the Dead's probably good at that with all his Wisconsin coolness.
Yeah, he's got the experience, so maybe he can cross the states. Maybe he can cross the country lines.
You know how somebody would do that in Florida? Chip the ice off the driveway? A flamethrower. I guarantee it.
Oh yeah, yeah. We do that now anyway. That's not a barbecue. Let's get a flamethrower. That's how we do it here. Eddie Murphy said, "That's not a fire. Light up, throw a whole tank of gasoline in there. Now that's a fire."
And Jay, I might be getting a new mic, so when I get back to party chat, it might sound better instead of the high squealing pitch that my Yeti's 5 years old and it's making like this weird noise.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm gonna go against Semi's advice and take Graphic God's advice.
And what's that?
Get a new one that looks identical for reasons.
So, first off, yeah, gotcha. I'm not supporting it, but I gotcha.
I'm just kidding, by the way, guys.
So on that note, I got to get ready to get back to work, wrap it up here. So appreciate you guys. Who's got the thickest beard?
I think that's a tough question. Mine's pretty thick, but Dreadpool's is long.
Yeah, so
I mean, if he was to probably wet his, it'd probably feel thicker.
Yeah. So Clownz wins on this one. I got the length.
My wife made me get it cut a little bit.
Yeah, my wife actually cut like 2 inches off.
Oh, you hate that?
Yeah, she's like, just let me. And I was like, no. But sometimes you just gotta let them do their thing. Yes, he's got an epic beard.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I don't want to say he copied us, but I think he might have copied us.
Yeah. Especially to dye or bleach his one side. We'll call that genetic bleach.
Length or girth? Oh my god! I know what he's trying to get.
Yeah. We know what you mean.
Ask Flemish. Is Flemish in the party? Ask him.
So we'll leave it at that. And on that note, we're going to shut it down. Thank you guys for stopping in. I really appreciate it. You missed a lot of the good stuff from the beginning of the show. But
go
yet
back,
again,
leave comments, listen to what we had to say. And the next time Dreadpool is doing Breaking Bread with Dread, it probably will be live wherever he's at. So just keep that in mind. Even if it's not in this area, he could be somewhere in the Midwest, wherever. It'll be live.
yeah, you never know.
Turn those notifications on.
Yeah, definitely appreciate that if you do. I know Back's got him on because he always pops in. A little late today, but no hard feelings.
Yeah, Back. No excuses for you. Unless you're chipping ice out of the driveway.
That's not an excuse. That's a reason to get away from chipping ice.
Oh, yeah, good point.
So, but yet again, thank you guys for showing up. Thank you, Carlo, for hanging out, doing this again. And hopefully we get to do this sooner than later. It was a little far in between since the last time, but you know how it is. We all get busy. So thank you guys. You all have a good one. Happy gaming.
Hashtag Game Pass.
Yeah, hashtag Game Pass. Get that thing started again this weekend. We got to start a whole new round. Let's be a little bit more creative this time. Did you see that one that I did?
Mm-mm.
I said for $3 you can be a Dreadite, and then I just went through of all the GBT Nation guys, and gal. Can't forget her. Where'd it go? Yeah, start your 3-month trial of #Dreadeye for only $1 and getting access to 100 plus amazing GBT Nation shows. And you get 1 day access to all the upcoming exclusives like Fork Boy Gaming Horizon 5, Woolmy Hood Infinite, Lady Gaming Chair, Squirter not included, and Bomber 14-Man 8. Wow. So I was just going through and they're like, what does it mean? I'm like, it means nothing. I was just trying to be stupid about it, and it kind of worked out. I was stupid about it. So, okay, officially, I'm ending the show. Thank you guys again, and see you guys. Oh, there you go. #. Hold on. I can't end it now. There we go. Back. Trust me. When I get up there again, especially Chicago, we definitely need to meet up. Definitely need to find a nice little place. There's a few places I used to know. There was one that my grandfather used to go to that was one of his favorite places. I don't even know if it's there anymore. I'd have to find out what it was called and if it's even there. And there's Streamline Elements again, pushing my merch. That's not even really set up right. Okay. But on that note, we'll see you next time. Happy gaming. And now it ends.